looks like it's time for our after show for Just Us Thinking here, right?
It is.
So Just Us Thinking back with after show for Reality Redefined.
Yeah, that was a pretty interesting show to say.
So what do you think? We go
I
off
don't
the
know.
rails on this
Yeah.
one now.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's cool and everything, but I'm not made out of money, so I don't have the money for all these like expensive new toys.
So now, this is also something I want to touch on too. That we kind of in the other show a little bit because Mikey covered a little bit of having this in the hotel room, but I might not have to pay for a trip to go to Rome if I could go to Rome in my living room.
You know what? That's fair.
That is true, but I mean, you still don't. It just doesn't beat reality. I'm
Exactly.
sorry.
You don't get the personal feeling as if you were there and you got to look at it with your very own eyes.
Well, so let's go into that. Half the crap that your eyes see makes up crap anyway. Do you know that?
That's true.
So if your eyes tell you that you're looking at something, you're looking at something. That's the way it is. So I hate to say it, but I think our brains are not really, they can't understand the difference between the two.
They really can't?
No. It's just, it's information.
Okay, but I can tell the difference between a blue wall and a blue sky.
Well, that's right. And that headset can show you a blue wall, and you won't know if you're looking. If you put the headset on and you augment reality to put a blue wall in front of you, that's a carbon copy of your blue wall. You could take your house, you could 3D print your house. You can go take that person out to a field, and they could walk around their house, and they will have no idea that they're not walking around their house. Do you know that?
Yeah.
That's how the brain works. It's just information. It's light entering through with a picture in it. It's basically the way your eyes manipulate the light and how it reflects off different objects. A picture is no different.
Weird.
Yeah. So that's the problem. That's why people think we're living in the Matrix, because they think, oh, maybe reality isn't reality. Maybe reality has always been this way. We don't know.
Huh.
So it's kind of one of those weird things that me and you, Mikey, we've gone through the Oculus and we've played around with it.
We have.
Now, Rebecca, you did a little bit, but you didn't really do that much of it, right?
I did a little bit because I did the roller coaster. I did the walk through, like Paris or something.
Yep.
And then,
But you haven't played a game on there like
Right.
I have.
Right.
yeah,
Now, when you did your walkthrough for Paris, walking through, and that was the original that we have, did it look pretty real?
it did. But I mean, you could still tell that it's not a real person next to you.
You're right. You could tell it, and that was the original. The technology has slowly gotten better and better.
Yeah.
With the new AI and all that stuff that's happening, it's going to be very, very hard to realize what's real and what's not when you're in this game or when you're in this headset.
Yeah.
So now, yeah, you could save money. I don't need to go to Paris if I could walk around there. And then you're thinking, now can you imagine? I'm going to walk around Paris, and then can you imagine once these systems that can start adding like smell and taste to them?
Oh my God, that would just be insane.
Can you imagine, like, you're walking down, you're using your VR, you're in your living room on a floor, you're walking down the street downtown, you walk by a bakery, and you could smell the bakery.
That would be pretty wicked.
That would be awesome, though.
Right? Can you now? Everything? All your senses are saying you're in front of a bakery. What then?
It's gonna suck when you take it off and realize you're not there.
I know, but Mikey, you're already using this technology. You're using a very crude form of the technology, right?
Yeah.
You just bought a water bottle that fakes a scent for you to taste, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine having a water bottle sit next to you and you're like, I want to go to Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, and you could smell the food, you could hear the sizzling, you could see everything there, and you take a swig of your bottle of water that has a Gordon Ramsay scent packet in it that makes it taste like a sirloin steak.
Oh, that would be nice.
Well, now you're on board, right? See, all this is doing is this is tricking the senses. That's all it's doing.
The problem is you have me at food.
Right, right. So the question is technology going too far now?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, to a point.
Yeah. Can you? I want to say it can make people lazy,
Yeah.
because if they don't have to go out to go do anything anymore, why would they need to if they just put on this strap something to their face and see it in real life? Why would anybody need to go to Rome, or why does anybody need to do any of that? What happens if you're, I want to go to the beach and I want to, I could put a tub of water on the ground and I could simulate water, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That would suck though.
Well, it would suck once you realize you're out.
Yeah.
Once you take off the headset, you're like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
But while you're in there, you get those endorphins and that everything flowing, saying this is real and this is awesome. Maybe they get a little water mister there, and you can feel like when it's starting to rain, or can you imagine that? And here's the thing, people are already thinking about this crap.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
They're already if they could figure out how to do it now, they're going to do it. Can you imagine what they're going to figure out in like 10 years?
Yeah.
In 10 years, you could like feel everything.
It's crazy to think that.
Yeah. They could trick your brain into making it seem like it's raining, or you're walking on the beach. You could have a hologram room basically now. They could have lighting situations, water, all kinds of stuff that you could walk in and you could literally experience the sun shining on your face. You could experience, walking through, light rain. There, I could smell the ocean. I could smell this,
Yeah, that I don't know about that one.
Yeah. It's just such a scary thought. I mean, like, because if you can do that, like, what else can people do?
What else can you do with this?
Yeah.
Right. And then that gets into like, well, that's where we're getting into like some of the public videos where we see these people walking around and like they're living in their own little world.
Yeah.
If you watch any of them, they almost seem oblivious to what's going on around them, don't they?
Oh,
They
yeah.
kind of did.
I mean, they've got to be.
Now, don't get me wrong. The person that says, "Hey, catch," and then they throw a ball at you, and the guy catches it. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can still see around you, but you could do the same thing with your cell phone. How many times have you talked to someone who has been so involved in their cell phone that you're talking to them? You could tell that they're just not there.
A
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah. Now, this just amplifies that by 100.
Yeah.
Right?
It takes it to a whole new level.
Now, here's the issue that I'm running into with this technology is because this we've already discussed, this is tricking your brain, right?
Right.
So you're tricking your brain to kind of give you I want to say a false world or a false sense of security or whatever you're going to have here, right?
Yeah.
What happens when people are so engrossed into it that they kind of lose themselves? Addicts. So now,
Yeah.
I think it's there's a couple people that have come out and they have been addicted to video games. They have to play video games.
Yeah.
They go through there, and they've actually walked away from their computer and they remember what happened in the video game. To them, it almost is real. Okay.
That's crazy.
That really?
Oh yeah, that really happens. There are some people that don't have the ability to. in their mind, and it's I think schizophrenia is one version of this.
Okay.
There are social, what are they called? Medical diagnosis where people can, in their mind, they think something, and therefore it's reality to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of, I mean, I think almost everybody does that though. I mean, there's a lot of people that do that.
To a certain point, that a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
So the problem is it's a deception kind of deal. So what happens when that you're talking to somebody, and so they could be playing whatever their game they're playing, right?
Yeah.
Well, The Sims is a big game, right? Is a good game, right?
Oh yeah, The Sims.
So what happens when someone who is married in real life, and then they're playing this game, and then they fall in love with someone in the game? What if that person's not even real? What if it's a fake person? Let's say it's an AI-generated person in the game.
Well, then you got issues.
Yeah, you have major problems.
There are people marrying robots now.
Yeah, they got issues.
So you're right, but you're just you're basically manipulating feelings, really.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, this wife who has a husband at home is going into the game to see her other husband. What about there? And now, is that cheating?
I would say, I don't know, but I would say that would be cause enough for divorce right there. I feel like, okay, you got another wife and another reality, go be with her.
Okay, so how are you going to explain that to Judge? Yeah, Judge, she's seeing someone else. Who is this someone else? It's nobody.
It's an AI in this
It's an
game
AI.
that plays.
They have issues.
Can anybody else see this person? No.
What is it? What's the, trying to think of the term. I can't say it. Recognize. I can't say it.
Irreconcilable differences. Or something
Yeah.
like that, yeah. So
Like, that's what we got.
yeah, that's no. The reality that's not. No, that is not that. That is crazy. You were having an affair with an imaginary thing.
Yeah. So yeah, that whatever that word is.
Irreconcilable differences.
Yep.
That's, to me, that's scary. Because then, I mean, so what happens if you are, let's say you're not married, and you have this, you get home and you put in this VR, and then you have a husband, and you have a whole evening, and after months of having romantic dinners with this AI and this virtual thing, someone that's not really there, okay?
That's just plain crazy.
And then they go to the office. Can you imagine? You understand that in their mind, it's reality.
Yeah.
So when they go to the office and they're like, "Oh, you wouldn't believe what me and my husband had last night for dinner," and the coworkers are going to be like, "When did you get married? How are you going to explain that?" That could be a problem.
Yeah, that could
It's
be
like, "Oh no, my fake husband."
my virtual husband.
Yeah, my virtual husband.
Or virtual wife.
Yeah, can you imagine?
That's just Looney Bin
But
material.
to you it happened. So whatever you are discussing, like when they're talking about it and they're like, "Oh yeah, me and my husband watched a movie last night." When you believe that you did that, and technically you did, it was just virtual. What then?
Ooh, that's a good question.
So
Our government really needs to invest in some serious mental health issues.
we're gonna have them. We're gonna have them. We already have them. We're gonna make them worse. Can you imagine, like, going, like some girls away for college, and then after 5 or 6 years, she comes home and she goes, "Oh, Mom, and how you doing?" And she's wearing one of these VR headsets.
Oh no.
And she has what I call the new Tamagotchi. She has a pet in the game.
Oh.
So she has a pet dog, and so she's like, "Oh, you should see my new dog." And her parents are like, "You're allergic to animals." They're like, "Oh, no, this is a virtual pet. You can't see it, but only me."
Yeah.
And then you're talking to that dog, and you're having a conversation, or you're trying to pet a dog that's really not there. And then can you imagine what that looks like on the other side of that coin?
You're petting air.
Yeah, yeah.
Psych ward.
Well, you would think that would be psych ward, but now it's like
Psych
you're
ward
like,
material.
do you need to go to the hospital? No, it's virtual. Oh, okay, that's an exception.
No. Here, look at my headset.
What part do you say it's going to get crazy?
Yeah.
I mean,
when do you say enough is enough?
right. You're going to like see some guy at the dog park. Do you have a dog? Well, not really. What are you doing? I'm throwing a ball for my imaginary dog. So when you're standing in the dog park and you're throwing this ball, or you look like you're throwing a ball, but you're not throwing anything. And this imaginary dog is running in and you're picking it up.
Well,
Imagine
why
what that
would
looks like.
Why would you have to go to a dog park to do that? Couldn't you just go and like stay in your living room and do that?
You could, but maybe you wanted exercise.
Oh, okay.
You want them to. So you know what? You bring a good point up. Do you want that person to be in their living room and just getting fat and lazy and not going anywhere? Or would you like them to actually go to these locations and look like an idiot? Because it's one or the other. Which one do you choose?
I would rather have neither.
Yeah.
Too late. Pandora's box is open here.
Yeah.
It's a done deal. It's what's going to happen. But what would you prefer? And now you don't know, do you?
No.
Because now you're like, well, fat and lazy doesn't work. And then having them out in public where they're looking like an idiot. Now, that's fine if everybody's looking like an idiot, right?
Yeah. Well,
That's true.
Give us time. Give us time. We're all going to be there.
just make the, dog park one big crazy bin.
Yeah.
Keep the dogs out because they're the sane ones.
Well, and so now, like I said, we don't know where technology is going to go. So now what happens if you don't want, let's say you are lazy. So you're all in your own world and you have a dog.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't have time for your dog. So you throw one of these masks on the dog and the dog could go out in the backyard and it could simulate a human throwing a ball for them and they could go pick a ball.
That's what you got those automatic ball throwers for.
Yeah. So you get an automatic ball thrower you could pin a human so it looks like a human's throwing it, and then he could go drop it at the human's feet, which is back in the dog pin, and then so now the dog can get a simulated human experience, and you could simulate a whole world for the dog. And if you want to have the dog chase squirrels,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
you could have you could pin like you could take like a dog toy or something, and you could pin it in the game on where that's going to end, and then you could have that squirrel run around the yard so the dog could chase it, and at the end it ends at where that stuffed animal is, and they actually grab a hold of the stuffed animal and shake it thinking they got the real squirrel.
Oh, that's just wrong.
Yeah. That's
Can you
wrong.
imagine?
That's evil.
You could teach. I would tell you, you might even be able to teach dogs how to hunt duck for that. They could be a teaching tool. What about then?
What?
Yeah.
So if you're teaching a dog how to hunt duck, you could put that mask on them. You could simulate shooting a duck and that duck falling, but you have a stuffed animal duck there. It goes and retrieves a stuffed animal duck, and then you're for training. It's great, right?
Stop finding good uses for this.
I know.
It's horrible and good at the same time. I still think it's a nightmare. Don't get me wrong, but I could see very good uses for that. Dogs are scared of certain things. You could put them in a simulated world and desensitize them to that.
Or freak them out even more.
Well, yeah.
mean,
I would
come on
say
now.
I would say the goal would be to desensitize them. So if your dog is used to like barking at people or a certain type of people, you could simulate that person being around a lot more. So they're like, oh yeah, that's not so big deal. And then it could desensitize them from barking or making noise or like jumping up on people.
That's
Like
true.
we could simulate your dad coming over, and that could have been used to simulate where they're not jumping up on him anymore.
Yeah.
And because you could do it over and over and repetitive, they learn it better. That's part of dog training.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, humans learn the same way.
Yeah.
So it could get really crazy really quick, right?
Wow.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Girls, you want virtual reality?
We're going to get our dogs virtual reality. I'm not buying my dog a $3,400
I'm not either.
mask.
Nope.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Nope. Not
But
gonna happen.
Can you imagine a world where the humans are walking around and their dogs are walking around with these like space masks and they're simulating all kinds of things, everything around. So you're walking around New York City streets and the dog is like simulated walking through a valley of flowers and just can you imagine? You're walking down Paris, your dog's walking through a meadow, isn't it crazy?
That was.
I don't know how. Wow.
Yeah. Now, we all know those dog pounds can't afford these, so all these poor dogs are going to suffer. But these rich son of a bitch dogs will have all kinds of good stuff, right? Can you imagine? I mean, the possibilities can go crazy.
That's
You're giving
true.
them dry dog food, but they have this mask on that looks like they're eating steak and potatoes. And then if you start adding some of the smell senses into it,
It would really make them look like they're eating that.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, you could eat. Listen, you could probably feed some of it with the scents and the smells and everything. You could give someone a shit sandwich, and they would think they're eating the best burger of their goddamn life. How about that for some shit? Can you imagine? If I was a restaurant owner and I saw that coming in, I'm like, I don't even have to fix good food anymore. That thing that he's wearing is going to simulate it.
That's
He's
true.
going to come in there and eat some goddamn piece of cardboard just for the nourishment. So it's going to be like an MRE package from the military. And you're going to be sitting there thinking, I'm eating a gourmet meal. No, you're eating crap that nobody wants to eat. You're simulating it with the food and the chewing and everything. But that smell thing is making you think, just like that smell thing thinks you're drinking, flavored water. What's that package you have?
Strawberry?
Yeah. So what is it? It tastes like you're drinking strawberry water, right?
Yeah.
Does it really taste like strawberry?
No, it tastes like it. Well, yes. To me, it really tastes like strawberry water.
But it's just water.
Yeah.
There's no flavor added to it. It's all a scent packet, right?
It's all a scent thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. You're already, to drink more water, you're tricking your senses right now.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
There is no difference.
Wait till all this gets all in together. Wait till they should start firing this on all your senses. You're screwed. And then what will that do with tourist attractions? What would that be?
I would probably limit visitor or decrease in visitors.
Yeah. No, we go down to Lake of the Ozarks, right?
Yeah.
We like to go down there. What if we could go to the Lake of the Ozarks anytime we want without going there? What does that do with all the people that are all the seasonal people down there?
That would hurt them.
Yeah, you're basically going to hurt all those local businesses, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if I can get for let's say a couple $1,000, I can get a simulated motorcycle that I could sit on in my living room, put on this goggles with a fan, simulate the breeze blowing in my head. I could ride around a motorcycle on my living room without ever leaving my living room. I go through the open road. I could ride. I could do. Granted, it's really safe, right? I'm not going to have an accident.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. I could simulate that I'm riding. You get that endorphins of what that does for you. You get that, and then you're like, wow, this is really good. Because after a good ride, you're like, wow, that feels good. You could put a vibration plate in there so it vibrates like it's a motorcycle. You could have it the intensity if you throttle up. You could.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff you could do there. And then what happens? Now motorcycles are just not out there on the road anymore, right? You could simulate that now. So, and you literally can. I'm not saying that this can't be done. They have the shock plates. They have all the technology to make that happen. All it's going to take is somebody to design it, and if they can make a profit off of it, they will.
Yeah.
You can set up a motorcycle where it feels and looks like you're riding in your living room and never have to go out there and ride again.
Wow. That sounds cool, but at the same time, it's scary how they can come up with this stuff.
That just
Yeah.
wow.
Now, I will tell you, for a teaching material, I think it's great. I think for teaching, it would be wonderful. For practical use and using it as your only escape, that I think was where the problem is.
Yeah, that could be harmful.
Listen, I will tell you, we rode the roller coaster on the Oculus.
Yeah.
Did it feel like you were riding a roller coaster? Did you have that stomach feeling?
I did.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
Right.
If I stood up, I probably would have fallen over.
Yeah. In fact, I did. I tried to stand up and I started to fall, right?
You did.
Right. So it's one of those things that it completely changes your senses. So I felt like I was on a roller coaster. You could feel the stomach. You could feel that going in there. It created a physical reaction. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
That's what. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved playing it. It was fun.
Yeah.
I loved doing that. However, I don't think that should be the substitution for the real thing. But the
I
problem,
agree.
yeah, but the problem is that's what is going to happen.
It's
'Cause
sad.
we humans are addicted to stuff like that. That's why drugs are so bad. This is as far as I'm concerned, this is going to probably be worse than any drug you can get.
I could see that.
So I don't know. That's my take on it. What
Yeah. No, I mean, you make really good points. So, yeah.
can you imagine? It's just
Yeah, I'd rather experience it for real.
yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, this way you save so much money.
See, Mikey's on board. He's like, yeah.
well, yeah,
Can-
but it still doesn't beat the real thing, I think.
No.
I mean, I agree, it doesn't. But like
It
people who
doesn't.
like money or people who want to conserve money, this is probably their best
I'm not
option.
sure spending $34,000 or $8,000 is conserving
Yeah.
money at this point. Now,
Well, if you
in-
get like a cheap headset,
in 10 years, I think in 10 years, I think you're right. I think in 10 years, this is where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Right now, I think we're starting to look at it and going, wow, this is stupid. A lot of the older generation is saying this is stupid. A lot of the younger ones are going, wow, this is great. But can you imagine? I mean, I guess the problem here is you have reality, and you have this fake reality. And the problem is at this point, we're having a fusion of both.
Yeah.
So when you go into the office in the morning and you're talking to your coworkers and then you're like, hey, Susie, what did you do? And then you have, Kimmy's coming over and goes, oh, I went to Paris. Oh, my God, it was so wonderful. We walked around the cathedral. And then, the other one, Kathy walks in going, you went to, Paris this weekend? Or you went to France? What? Oh, yeah, it was wonderful. You're describing stuff in Paris and France, and then Kathy's going, I've really been there. Did you see this? And they're going to have a conversation. One has actually been there. One has only been there in virtual reality.
Yeah.
Both of them don't realize that they might not be talking about the same thing. And then Joe comes in and going, hey, what's going on? I'm glad I saw you at the bookstore this weekend. And then Kathy's like, wait a minute, weren't you? Didn't you
you
just
go
get
to
back from Paris? You're like, oh, no, I didn't actually go.
I was just there in virtual
Can you
reality.
imagine? Can you imagine? Now, don't get me wrong, it shrinks the world like crazy.
Yeah.
But and we said the same thing when automotive and planes started going through, is it shrunk the world as well. You go back to the Oregon Trail where you had to like ride a horse across or walk across America. I'll see you in like 6 months. If we make it and tuberculosis didn't get us or
Dysentery.
we didn't die of dysentery. Never diss Terry. Terry's a sumbitch.
Yeah.
You diss him, he'll kill you. But it's just kind of the world shrinks, and I think we keep shrinking the world even more. And eventually it's going to the point where, now there used to be something that called, was it when you're away from someone, it makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
There was
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
There you go. Well, that distance is gone.
Yeah.
That distance is gone. It's just, it's crazy that that's the case. Now, don't get me wrong. I think if you don't get a chance, if you can't afford to fly to California to see your family, then this is great, because then you could, they're right there, but, I don't know. I think I can see the pluses on I can see a lot of the pluses, but the minuses, the negatives on this far outweigh any good that I think it does.
I would agree. So, I think it'd be fun and everything.
It's fun to get away. Don't
I think
get
it's
me
fun
wrong.
for a little bit, and then you're gonna be like, I'd rather do this in person.
Well, you do. That's you.
Some other people might feel that way too.
This new generation doesn't.
No, yeah.
But
They don't.
Here's the thing is the battery life only lasts so long, so they'll only get that certain experience before they have to plug it in and move on to something else.
Well, now here's the problem that you run into. What happens when you are so happy in this world and then you have to come back to reality?
Yeah, reality is really gonna suck.
Right.
You'll probably find a outlet where you can just sit by and just charge the headset.
Yeah.
Right. So so here's the problem. What happens to someone who is not able to escape in that world anymore? Then they could start going into depression. They could start then they might say, there could come a point where someone is so immersed in this virtual world that they could say, I don't want to really live in the real world anymore. And then you have suicides that go up.
Yeah.
So I want to say this is a mental health disaster waiting to happen.
It is.
I hope it isn't, but I could see people getting, because it's your reality in there. You create it, and you could put whatever you want in there.
Yep.
And then I hate to say it, but the real world doesn't work that way.
It does not.
So if I want to be a cartoon rabbit in this world and I want to run around as a cartoon rabbit, I could do it in virtual reality.
You can't in real
You
life.
could be a Muppet and not be
No.
afraid of Muppets anymore.
Why are you doing this shit? We were so far off the goddamn Muppets, and you want to bring them little son of a
See, you
bitches
could
in?
desensitize
No.
yourself to
Or
it.
you
I
could
will-
become Cupid.
No. See, you all are. Listen, you guys say I'm bad. Y'all are fucked up. Now, if they're going to create a game that you go around killing Muppets, I'm in. You bring it on. I could desensitize by putting a 12 gauge to Kermit's head and blowing him the fuck out of here. I can do that. Miss Piggy, suck on this shotgun. I'm okay with that. Now I'm on board. But geez. No, I have a feeling it's going to be a train wreck.
Yeah.
You could
And I think you just proved that.
right. Well, no, I mean, what happens if I decide that I want to be that little bunny and I want to be a friggin' furball in this game? No, I'm serious. You're laughing, and then I come out of reality and I'm walking around the house
Like, oh my God, I have hands.
right. Well, no. What if I say, well, this is. What if you flip the two? What if you think the virtual reality is your real reality, and this is the fake reality? And then I go up to you, and I go to work the next day, and someone says, "Hey, sir, what's going on?" I'm like, you would refer to me as a rabbit, please. I'm a rabbit.
Psych ward.
Most of the time, when I'm not at work, I live as a rabbit. So I need you to start calling me a rabbit. You
Start
laugh.
calling me Bugs Bunny.
You laugh. People are doing it now in reality already. People are already, confusing how reality works.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? That's valid.
No.
So this is just going to encourage behavior that is not reality. Reality is reality. I hate to say it, but it is what it is. You may not like it, but you still have to live with it. The problem is you're creating a world where people don't have to live with it.
Yeah.
And then they don't know how to work with it. You laugh. What are you laughing at? You're still thinking I'm going to kill a freaking Muppet, aren't I?
No.
What?
No. I was just thinking,
That, or I could see you like summoning in a toaster with a little face on it, and I could just see you throwing it out the window.
Well, that's true. No, I want to hear what's your thought process here. Rebecca has a thought process, and she finds it hilarious.
Kind of going back to your whole, I was with my husband, my virtual husband last night. I mean,
Yeah.
That would.
Can you imagine?
There might be less divorce in that case, I guess.
Well, yeah.
So if you get to dream up of whatever they are, I mean, yeah.
Well,
You make it your dream husband, yeah.
No, it gets worse than that, though. Here's the reality with it, which is crazy. So I can go in this, and I can create this perfect man in this fake world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No living human is ever going to stand up to that.
Right? Yeah.
If you could create the perfect mate for you, they could do whatever you want, and then if you try real dating, that's not going to work.
No.
That's going to be you're going to set yourself up for disappointment.
You are.
Like, this is what real life is. I'm going to go back to my virtual husband and my virtual sex toys, and this is what's going to be.
I'll buy myself flowers.
Yeah. Well, we're there. I hate to say it.
Yeah, we're there.
Isn't it? I mean, the reality of this redefined world is crazy.
It is.
Talk about antisocial. People aren't going to know how to deal with each other.
Yeah.
They're just going to be putting on like their headsets and texting through. They're not even going to be able to speak words anymore.
Well, I think they'll still be able to talk because you're going to walk around and you're going to talk to these AIs and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's true.
But the problem is when you're in this world and you're going in there and you're creating these people, they're basically figments of your imagination, basically.
Yeah.
So if I go in there and my virtual girlfriend or wife is going to be in there, and I'm going to say, you know what, I'm hungry. She's going to say, you know what, I'm going to fix you a steak dinner tonight. And she's going to go fix me a steak dinner. If I do that with you, Rebecca, what am I going to get? You could take my ass out to Outback is what you're going to do, right?
Or Texas Roadhouse, yeah.
Right? I mean, here's the thing. You're going to set up a false sense of expectations.
Yep.
So when I meet someone in real life, in my world, everybody does what I say. I'm God there. I'm the king. I know I could. Everybody bows down to me. I'm God. You're God in your world. And then can you imagine taking that attitude and then coming back in the real world?
People would not enjoy you.
Yeah.
No, not at all. Well, and the thing is people won't enjoy you, but everybody's going to be doing it. So everybody's going to have that problem.
Yeah.
It's going to become you're going to self-isolate, and then you're not going to have to deal with other people, and those interactions with real people are going to become very, very bad very quickly.
They are. Yeah, that's just a scary, scary thought.
Well, I think we're coming to the end. I think we covered a lot.
We did.
I think the after show went off the rails like it normally does, so we're good.
Of course. Yep.
Please, nobody in real life refer to me as a rabbit. I would like to be called Kermit Killer, the Pig Destroyer. That will be my new name.
All right.
Yeah. Fozzie Bear, I'm coming for your ass. I will blow your ass away.
All right. Well, where can you follow us at?
Facebook, Instagram, X.
All right. And then you can listen to us on iHeart, Spotify, Apple, Samsung, or any of the podcast players.
Yep. And then you could also watch us on YouTube, Rumble, and TikTok. And just to throw it out there, if you have any of these VR or AR stuff that we are talking about and you want to watch us on those, we support these devices 100%.
We do.
All right. I think that's it for the after show. I think it's time for us to go and go to reality here, right?
All right. Bye, everybody.